When a customer sends a demand letter to my company from their attorney, you know it's probably not gonna be good for me. Let's take a little journey back in time, May of 2022. This company is only about 7 months old at the time. It's just me and my wife. Nobody else is in the company. It's just 2 people running this store. And we buy this really sweet looking Nissan Rogue. And we did our due diligence. We did our 172-point pre-certification inspection. We drive it on a really long test drive. We make sure that we're selling a good car. And then just a couple days later, after we get that car, we actually have someone show up to buy it unannounced. They didn't make a phone call, nothing. They just come here because they need a car. Now, I do want to preface this story that nothing negative is going to happen. I'm not like disparaging anyone. And when I talked about earlier that we're a 2-person store, this was May of 2022. Now today, we're a 4-person store. We have Grant, you guys know. We got that one lady that buys all of our cars. So what's her name? Oh, Mrs. Chevy Dude, that's right. And then we've actually just hired somebody. On July 3rd was her first day, and it would be our middle child. And her name is Caitlin. And we actually gonna have her as our office manager. So we're starting our legacy, right? So this is not a company that's just around for fun, and then when I get bored, we move on and do something different. It's not the case at all. We want to build our legacy. We want our own Chevy store, and we're not making this video to bash anyone or anything like that. It's just a story of what you guys don't see on a day-to-day basis that we deal with all the time here. And it's just doing business as normal. Back in May of 22, they buy this car. Well, because it just happened a few days that we had this vehicle, we were not able to completely perform our 172-point inspection. We did complete the inspection process. We just did not complete all of the service intervals, repairs, whatever you want to call it. We were going to put a serpentine belt on there. We were going to change the brakes, just a few things that we saw that we feel that we want to make a car retail ready for the front line. So on May 17th, just 7 days later, we had the customer come back to us so that we can put brake pads and a serpentine belt on there. Now, we don't have to put a serpentine belt on there, but a belt's $20 and like 30 bucks in labor to put on. It's not that expensive. We want to do these little itty bitty things so that way buying a car doesn't have to suck, because I talk about all the time of when the customer leaves, their experience after they leave here. They're always going to have a great experience here, but when they leave here, what is the experience 30, 45, 60 days, 90 days down the road? We're selling used cars. We don't know what's going to happen to these used cars, but I want to do every ounce of effort that I can to ensure that we are selling good cars. And since the beginning of this company, I can say that we have a very good reputation of selling good cars, and this instance on this one is very abnormal. 7 days later, the customer comes back and we install those serpentine belts. Well, they're holding that against us in this letter, and I'm going to explain why. On July 31st, they state that the check engine light came on and they stopped at a local store. It was discovered the check engine code was a P0420, which indicated the catalytic converter was bad. The customers that we sold the car to says they called me and we were told that Nissan just needed cleaner fluid and the catalytic converters would be fine. That's not a conversation I had. I would never say anything like that. I would replace the catalytic converters because they're $200 a piece. It's that simple. I would never put cleaner fluid in a car. So I'd have to say that they're lying in this part here. Several months later, on or about November 30th, 2022, the Nissan was driven to another state on the East Coast, extremely far away from here, and en route, the check engine light came on. It was determined that the transmission needed to be replaced by a local Nissan dealer, and the total cost was $4,931. This was November 30th. So basically, they go into and saying that a video that I produced and put on the Mike's Car Store YouTube channel, not the Chevy Dude YouTube channel, but the Mike's Car Store channel, states that at the 27 mark, we talk about the 172-point inspection, which, yes, I do. And then around the 3-minute 47 mark, I talk about and show the engine running, and I state I always love to show this while it's running so you can hear that there's no issues. And then their attorney goes on to say, additionally, around the 4-minute 8-second mark of the video, they found a few things wrong with the vehicle, but those issues were fixed, saying that I found a few things wrong with the vehicle, which was the brakes and the serpentine belt. Lastly, around the 4-minute 30-second mark, I state that the car is absolutely ready to go, no issues when you drive off the lot. They're taking those words and saying that I'm implying a warranty. So they throw some Indiana code that express warranties by the seller are created as follows: any affirmation or fact or promise made by the seller to the buyer which relates to the goods and becomes parts of the basic and bargain crates express warranty. And then it goes on to say any description of goods which is made part of the basic, the bargain crates, and express warranty. So they're saying that I said that, hey, I think this car is a good car, is a warranty expressed, which obviously is not. And any good attorney to come up with that Indiana code and say this is why we're contacting you, I don't think you've got a very good attorney. So later on in the letter, they say that they came to my store because of my express warranties made in the YouTube video about the Nissan, and then they're going to request that I accept the return of the Nissan, pay off the loan of the Nissan, and then give them $5,270.70 that they have been required to spend in order to make the Nissan drivable. Hopefully that this can be amicably resolved without filing for a lawsuit. Well, let me tell you this, I will absolutely fight this to no end. I do everything I can to help people out, and just a little bit of communication goes a long way. And I'm not privileged to show customers information, so I've redacted all of it. But this form right here, I have all of my customers sign that says nothing promised, nothing due, nothing implied. So I don't imply any type of express warranties. So that claim should be thrown out. Very, very simple. This one right here is something for me stating that it is sold as is. Okay? And then the federal buyer's guide that every single person has to sign when they buy a car, stating that it's got a warranty or it does not have a warranty. And this right here says, as is, no dealer warranty. The dealer does not provide a warranty for any repairs after the sale. And they sign that. So I have to get my attorney involved. So I call my attorney up and tell him what's going on. He says, hey, not a problem. We'll handle it. Scan everything that you've got and send it to me, the letter, the attorney stuff, and we'll handle it. Perfect, not a problem. So I send my attorney an email, and the very first thing I tell him is like, hey, I've attached the original website listing, which I personally print off and preserve in the deal jacket for cases just like this. And you can go to do this today and look at it. At the bottom of every listing, I've got a disclaimer about our 172-point inspection, and it just basically states that our 172-point inspection is a goodwill gesture just to ensure that we're selling a good car. Again, we're selling used cars. I don't know what's going to happen 20 foot down the road from here, but I do know 100% that I at least do this great inspection to ensure that we are selling good cars at the time of inspection. I pulled the Carfax today on the vehicle, and it has driven nearly 11,000 miles in 5 months. 11,000 miles. And it's also been touched by 4 separate service facilities before contacting me with any issues with the vehicle. I threw him the video that was referenced in the letter so he didn't have to type in the really long address. I've also attached screenshots of a file showing that the mother of this customer has never talked to me and through text message whatsoever. And then I also did a screen recording of everything going on with the text conversation with the daughter of this car deal, showing all sorts of communication at or around the dates that they say that they had problems, but they never brought them up to me. So also looking at that Carfax, I saw that their claim on 7/31/22 that there was a P0420 code. 9 days later, the customer came to my store 9 days after their claim that they had this check engine light come on for the P4020 code. She was on our lot. I was giving her her license plate and registration, and I fixed her lower valance because she stated she hit something and tore the clips off, and I got these little clips all over the place, and I just put it on as a goodwill gesture. So 9 days after this check engine light comes on, nothing's said to me at all. Then I got the bombshell. So I was not notified of this problem or any problem until December 2nd, 2022, almost exactly 7 months after the purchase. And we don't know how many miles are on this car over the 11,000 that I have verified that was 45 days or so prior based on the Carfax. So this car is obviously down in a southeastern state, which is many, many miles from here. So we can presume that this car's probably got 12 to 13,000 miles on it in 6 months time frame, which is well over the national average of 15,000 per year. All our phone calls here at the car store are recorded. So here's the file for the phone call from the mother of the couple who bought the car on 12/2, along with screenshots attached of all calls to and from her. The second screenshot is the daughter of the customer, that we've only texted, I've never called her. On that phone call to the mother, I was addressing the fact that I think that the quote that they got was extremely high, and the fact that the customer is out of town, that we are gonna get taken advantage of if you have that fixed. For a couple $100, less than $400, XL's taking it back, less than $500, I can ship a car on a trailer from that state up to Louisville, Kentucky in a couple of days with no problem. I do it all the time. I'm doing it right now actually, so it's not an issue. $450 is what it cost me to do it. So I offered to do that, to get that car back up here so that I can have some people to look at it. At the end of the phone call, it was stated, let me check on the things and I'll get back with you. That was December 2nd, 2022. The letter from the attorney is February 3rd, 2023. We are now 9 months past the time that I sold the car. Something's just not adding up here. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not gonna stand by it. I wanna help people. I wanna make sure I do the right thing to ensure that this business is profitable, and most importantly, that we can use this business as a stepping stone to give back to those people in need, because we just recently gave away our third car for this car store to an amazing veteran single dad who definitely needs a car to better empower his life. I don't wanna share a lot of stories about the cars that we give away, but I will show the picture right here. This is Jamie, single dad, Army veteran, and he needed a car, and we're super, super excited that we were able to give this car to him to empower him. And that's what the car store is all about. Not only helping people buy cars, but also empowering those who can't. So the very next thing we have to do is respond to this attorney's letter. So I'm just having fun, nothing negative here. And again, just like I said at the beginning of this video, just telling you the story of what goes on and transpires with our little small car dealership here in Southern Indiana. So my attorney has drafted a 4-page letter to their 2-page letter. So we have officially one-upped them, which is probably money as well. I probably spent twice as much money now, darn it. But we're just gonna find out what they say, what they do, and we don't want this to go to court. We don't want a lawsuit, but if that's what they decide, then that's what we're gonna have to do, and I'll just have to update you in a future video on that.